An AEW original has re-signed to the company, a former WWE Champion is undergoing surgery, and Vince McMahon has cancelled a highly anticipated WWE project. Stay tuned for the news. So yes, as mentioned in the headlines there, a AEW original has re-signed to the company, and Sam, it is none other than Stu Grayson of the Dark Order. So after a solid match on Dynamite with his Dark Order brethren against the Blackpool Combat Club, and actually his first appearance on AEW TV since October of 2022.
Yeah, and I believe his contract had lapsed from there was the weird sort of contract dispute, and he hadn't actually appeared or been like an official part of the company since, was it like June 2022 or something?
Yeah. I think there was some contract disputes between the two parties, Tony Khan and Stu. They couldn't come to an agreement, so Stu was like, I'm off for a little bit. Then I think he went on to do some indie stuff, but he is indeed back and re-signed with the company, and it's all official because Tony Khan put out the brick wall tweet saying, welcome back to AEW Stu Grayson. After a great match last night, which was obviously Wednesday night on Dynamite, in his return, he's more motivated than ever, and now it's official. Stu Grayson is all elite again. I think a lot of people are sort of happy to see him back. He seems like a really nice gentleman.
I mean, first off, I love that it was Stu Grayson is all elite brackets again on the picture. I thought that was class. But, you know, I think that, you know, when you go back to the start of AEW, if you want to look at it as starting at the original Double or Nothing with All In sort of being the precursor, Stu Grayson was a featured performer on that. And I think that, you know, retaining people who were there at the beginning is an important thing. I think that, you know, the people who have been there for the longest time are sort of part of the furniture now. They're sort of part of the soul of the company. And they're really stitched into it. So it's just nice to see that, you know, we're back to things feeling like they're on the right track again, I guess.
For sure, especially for the Dark Order as well, who are starting to be embroiled in a bigger storyline now with Hangman Page and the Blackpool Combat Club too. So hopefully this is going to be a nice thing for Stu to step back in as well, because, you know, for the longest time, the Dark Order weren't really getting used on TV.
No, and it was sad because, you know, initially when they first sort of turned up and it was like, what is this? And then slowly I really warmed to it, and then, it felt like the wheels just kind of came off, but not for any real reason, just because obviously it's a very chaotic thing having to get so many people on TV.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. And I think hopefully now we see more of Stu Grayson on TV. You see more of what he can do, because he's a fantastic wrestler as well. And just more time overall for the Blackpool Combat Club. For the Dark Order. They deserve this. And with such a high profile feud, I think, with the Blackpool Combat Club, it's going to do nothing but hopefully elevate them back into that level they were when, you know, Brody Lee was there. And he was the leader of the...
And, you know, re-signing, you know, all the buzz around it, you've got to maybe feel and maybe hope that Stu's going to get a little bit more time as a featured performer here. So
I think we're going to get that. Well, we'll have to stay tuned to Dynamite, but hopping over to the other side of the fence.
Not the other side.
The other side of the fence. The other side.
We didn't even go through the official checkpoint and get our book stamped.
We didn't get his passports checked or anything. We just climbed over the fence, didn't we? We're going in. Kofi Kingston, obviously, as we all know, injured his ankle a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, and he's been out of action since. And last night he took to Twitter revealing that he was in Birmingham, Alabama, and he ended the post with, "Tomorrow we march forward and into the hands of the best in the world at what he does. Let's get this ankle right now." Birmingham, Alabama is the location of Andrews Sports Medicine, the home of Dr. James Andrews. That's my name. The doctor WWE sends talents to for major surgery. So it looks like Kofi's off to go and get that ankle mended, and then
I mean, with the injury, it was kind of a given that Kofi wasn't going to feature in Mania, I guess. But this is sort of, you know, confirmation that that's probably definitely not the case. Kofi's not going to be there, but at the same time, it's a you know, he's out there getting healed up. He's out there getting his surgery. He's getting everything he needs. And
definitely. Which is the best
all we
thing
can really ask for, right?
And, you know, I feel like Kofi, when you've got the New Day there, when you've got Xavier Woods there, obviously Big E off still at the moment with the neck injury. He can always appear. If he does appear on WrestleMania, he could be Xavier could be pushing him about in some funky looking Final Fantasy contraption wheelchair.
There are ways that Kofi could appear, but it doesn't look like he's going to be putting much weight on that ankle for a little while.
No, definitely not. So we just send our best to Kofi. We hope everything goes well with the surgery there. But like I know him, Sam.
I'll drop you a message later on PSN. We'll jump on Call of Duty or something.
Have a bit of a do on Habbo Hotel or something. I don't know. And finally, a hugely anticipated said project has indeed been cancelled by WWE. So a Vince McMahon biopic titled Pandemonium has been in the works for some time. And I mean, obviously Vince is such a fascinating figure at this point.
Yeah.
And it goes without saying that there could be a whole trilogy, even more films probably made out of his life at this point.
I'm really gutted by this, mainly because, we don't really have much in the way of Vince stories that are solidified and out there. He's not exactly somebody where, there's a lot written about him, but there's never really been an approved straight through telling of Vince's tale, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Well, unfortunately, things have seemed to have taken a bit of a wrong turn. So, speaking with /film, the directors, John Requa and Glenn Ficarra, I hope I'm pronouncing them right, had this to say.
Do you want to be Ficarra and I'll be Requa?
Oh, yeah, I'll be Ficarra.
Okay.
Oh, I need to... Scene. Pandemonium is dead, sadly.
And Vince killed it. We have never in our career had the studio. We had an actor. Everybody was just like, let's make this movie. And Vince said, we're not making it. We're on a very long list of people who got effed off by Vince.
Oh, and obviously nobody knows quite how authentic the film would have been, given that it was actually set to be produced in collaboration with WWE Studios. But I mean, I feel like it's just a matter of time at this point that something will be made about Vince McMahon.
Especially, you can see why maybe they're not moving forward with it right now, considering that it looks like they're trying to sell the company. All of the things that are surrounding Vince right now from a legal standpoint certainly do not look good. And I think that, to make a film, especially a film with a studio that's kind of going to whitewash that story a little bit, would be a bit tone deaf. But I think you're right. It's only really a matter of time, because Vince has such a fascinating tale, coming in and purchasing the company from his father and just breaking all the rules, fighting his way through the territory system, avoiding, people trying to have him offed, and prevailing in the end with a style of wrestling that would go on to be the global market leader for, years to come. But I just don't think it can be authentically done within the confines of WWE. This is the problem.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we will see if hopefully I'm sure, as we said, something somewhere down the line will get made about it. It's a story to tell for sure, at least.
It's
anyway.
probably the story.
Definitely.
I think that if it's able to be told in an unflinching manner, then for sure, that's what we need.
For sure. Well, from one story, though, to another, Adam Pachiti's story, AJ Hazard's story in WWE 2K23 My Rise is still ongoing. You can catch it tonight about 9 p.m. over on YouTube. That's youtube.com/cultaholic/live. I'm sure we will be back with some more news down the line today, but until then, it's been an absolute pleasure to serve you.
Just serve you. To protect and serve wrestling news to you.
You. Right
Straight off the deep fat fryer.
We will catch you in the next one.